Emily Marinelli, and you're listening to the Twin Peaks Tattoo Podcast. I'm a professor of psychology, a psychotherapist, a writer on 25 Years Later website, and a huge Twin Peaks fan. I'm not a tattoo artist or tattoo expert by any means, but I'm a tattoo enthusiast and wanted to make a podcast combining two things I love the most. Each episode of the Twin Peaks Tattoo Podcast interviews someone about their Twin Peaks tattoo and explores what their ink means to them. Thanks for joining. One of the most famous and the oldest type of tattooing in the U.S. is the good old-fashioned American traditional. Before sailors made them iconic, heavily tattooed circus women showed off their arms and legs from the mid-1840s to the early 1900s. In rebellion of the repressive Victorian era, they wore full body ink and often in the style of what was eventually coined American traditional. I loved these badass bitches. Check out pics of them online sometime if you haven't before. By 1900, all major port cities had tattoo parlors, often with questionable hygiene practices, and sailors loved getting inked. They would often get drunk and show up at a parlor and randomly pick something from the flash sheet. A flash sheet are those already drawn up smaller tattoos you see at the front of a tattoo shop hanging on the wall. World War II had American traditional sealed as a mainstay style for bikers and for the Navy. Think Popeye's anchor tattoo if it were more detailed and not so much a cartoon. Traditional tattoos are often nautical in theme, such as lighthouses, and they serve Americana and patriotic vibes. Roses, hearts, snakes, eagles, swallows, panthers, women's faces. In the show notes for this episode, I've linked several videos about traditional and neo-traditional styles if you want to learn more. I, of course, am not a tattooer, but I understand that American traditional requires a lot of technical precision and follows a specificity of form regarding the application. American traditional tats are simple in colors, strong imagery. They look like stickers on the body. A tattoo that is certain of itself, that permeates the skin in a deep, profound way, that stands the test of time. Not all artists specialize in traditional style, and those that do often prefer to do traditional, and they do it really fucking well. I always wanted an old school traditional tattoo for these reasons, and I was stoked to get on the books of a famous artist in Sebastopol, California. But when I did, I made a rookie mistake. Instead of thinking about what kind of tattoo I really wanted, I tried to think about what would best match my artist's style, and thus I blurted out, "I want a heart." I didn't at all. So here's what happened. I walk into the shop, and right away, I feel a throwback to the sailor days. Flash sheets, nautical flair with modern updates, open workspace, artists shooting the shit. Someone's getting a big back piece that looks like it hurts, and his girlfriend sits next to him, and they're laughing and kicking it. An artist approaches me, covered from head to toe in mostly black and gray traditional pieces. He welcomes me, hands me an iPad to check in for my appointment, and I notice right away, on his left hand, ring finger, is none other than an owl cave tattoo. "Wait, are you a fan of Twin Peaks?" I ask. "Oh yeah," he answers, and that opens to a nerdy next 10 minutes of chatting about the show, and probably I'm keeping him from other work he needs to do. Aaron, the shop owner and my artist, comes over, and hearing our geeky goodness says, "Check this out," and shows me a huge ship face piece he did of Laura Palmer. Her eyes are Snoqualmie Falls. A blue rose clasps in her hair. In her hair is a crown, the top of which is an owl cave symbol. The friendship necklace half hanging from her neck. It is astonishing. And it's at this moment that Cooper's words rush through my head, when two separate events occur simultaneously pertaining to the same object of inquiry. We must pay strict attention. And here I am, set to get a tattoo I don't really want, and I'm met by the universe back with a Twin Peaks double down reminder of what I love. "You know, Aaron, I'm wondering if it's not too late to change my tat design. I actually want an ear of corn. an important part of the Twin Peaks universe, as you both know. And Aaron, thankfully, is totally down for this and says corn would go well with traditional style. And to make it a little weirder, I decide to have a few kernels of popcorn popping out of it just because. And working with Aaron is everything I imagined it would be. He's professional, funny, skillful in his craft. The almost 2-hour sit flies by. When I leave, I go back to the car to drive home, high from getting inked, loving my new tat, and I turn on the local radio station. And ZZ Top's Sharp Dressed Man is blasting. Okay, now this was only about a year after The Return had aired, and so the song had a new meaning for me. Not only was it another unbelievably synchronistic Twin Peaks moment, it is somehow the perfect soundtrack for my drive back home. Windows down, ZZ Top up, corn tattoos screaming under the wrap on my leg. Life is good. If I tried to list out all the synchronicities and the landscape of Twin Peaks, I would fill books and still miss some. If I paid attention to all the Twin Peaks Jungian synchronicities that show up in everyday life, I would fill libraries and still not be done. Being mindful of signs, to acausal connections, and open to the spirit and magic of it all is a huge gift of the show. Otherwise, corn is just corn, and what fun is that? In this month's episode of the Twin Peaks Tattoo Podcast, I talk with the fantastic Katie Johnston. We discuss her neo-traditional tattoos, her love of Audrey Horne and Sherilynn Fenn, and what Twin Peaks means to her now. We chat about synchronicities, and she told me how her tattoo artist just happened to be visiting North Bend right after her consult appointment and was able to bring back inspiration from his trip to work into designing her half sleeve. After our recording, she told me even more synchronistic moments, like how she had doubts about getting her Twin Peaks tattoo and then heard an owl right at that moment, and how she drove by streets, one of which was named Leland, the other Palmer. You can't make that shit up. And of course, we talk about her awesome Twin Peaks tattoos. Katie is a 31-year-old Texas educator and breast cancer warrior. She recently got engaged to Matt, a somewhat new member of the Twin Peaks family, who proposed to her at Spooky Empire with the help of Sherilynn Fenn. She's been infatuated with the Twin Peaks universe for the last 13 plus years, as it has appeared in the highs and lows of her life, sometimes in a serendipitous manner. Being a tattooed teacher in the South can be an anomaly, but she's happy to forever represent Twin Peaks and what it means to her. And now, here is the synergy of Katie Johnston. Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I really want to start with what just happened this past weekend at Spooky Empire. Tell us highlights about going to this amazing event.
Well, obviously the first one that comes to my mind was the fact that I got engaged. And Sherilynn Fenn, no less, was like involved in the proposal. So that was just like the cherry on top of the entire weekend. Meeting the rest of the cast that I hadn't met before and seeing all of my Twin Peaks family. Those are like the three major things that happened this weekend that just like made it so amazing and just a time that I'll never, ever forget.
Congratulations. I saw the pics online. You looked amazing. Everything looked amazing. How did Sherilynn Fenn get involved? Tell me that part.
So just from what Matt, my fiance, has told me, the night before we got engaged, it was our group, our Twin Peaks group. We were all just hanging out. We went to the VIP party, we had a good time. We went to the Hyatt, which was across the street from Spooky, and we were having some drinks there. And that's where the majority of the cast was staying as well. The cast came down and we all waved at each other, didn't intrude on their evening. But Sherilynn's handler, I guess is the term. His name is also Matt. He and my Matt ended up talking to each other, and my Matt just basically said, hey, I have this idea. I want to see if you guys can maybe help me out with it. If not, no big deal. just trying to respect the boundaries and everything of the cast. And Matt like pitched the idea about the proposal, and the handler Matt, he called Sherilynn, and she was like, "Yeah, of course, I would love to do it." And then they, had to figure out the logistics of, okay, well, how am I going to get the ring into her, and all this stuff. Um, so the ring that I have, it was a promise ring. Um, Now it's my engagement ring, but like we didn't plan on getting engaged this weekend at all. So, um, this is what he had. Anyway, so at the panel, I remember just being overwhelmed with a lot of emotion for some reason. And like I didn't have my ring on at the time because I had like taken my jewelry off the night before, and at that time my Matt had like swiped the ring like while I was asleep so that he could give it to Sherilynn or her handler. Yeah.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like the next morning I was like, "Where's my ring at?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I was just like, "Okay, I guess it's in my bag somewhere. I'll find it later. No big deal." Anyway, so fast forward to the later part of the day. After the panel, I was really emotional because it was just like such a great weekend, and just seeing the entire cast up there and it just being like kind of a surreal moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started crying. And my Matt, he was like, "Why are you crying? Like, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. I'm just really emotional right now. It's just such a good weekend." And then, like, we left the panel, and the autograph room was very short walking distance from the panel room. And we were waiting in line beforehand during the panel, and Matt kept like leaving and coming back. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just seeing if something is in the autograph room. There's something else I want to get." I don't know. It was weird. He just kept leaving and coming back. So after the panel, he was like, "Oh, let's go in the autograph room." And I'm like, "Okay, like we've already met everyone. We've already talked to everyone, gotten our autographs, our pictures. Like there's really no need for us to go in here, you know?" And he was like, "Just trust me." And I was like, "Okay." And then there's like no one in there. And then we start walking towards Sherilynn and her booth, and she and her handler Matt are there. And there's a couple people in line, and like we get in line, and I'm like, "Matt, we've already talked to her. Like she's gonna think we're creepy. Like she's gonna think we're stalkers." And he was like, "No, it's cool. We're just gonna say hi, and it's gonna be fine." I'm like, "But like they're probably gonna charge us to just say hi, like we've already spent so much money this weekend." And he was like, "It's okay. Just trust me." Well, then Matt Osborne, the handler, he like looks at us, and then he just like lights up, and he's like, "Oh, hey guys," and just very enthusiastic. And he's just, talking to us, asking us how we're doing. But I'm just like starting to get vibes, you know what I mean? Just like
you're feeling something's going on.
Yeah, I'm like, why is everyone so happy right now? Like it's cool, but it's just something's going on.
Yeah.
And then I see Sherilynn, and then I go up to talk to her, and I just immediately start crying again. And she's like, "Oh, sweetie, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing's wrong. I'm just emotional. It's been such a good weekend, and it's been like a hard couple of years, and this is just like really healing for me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, let me give you a hug." And then she like comes up and hugs me, and she says, "You have so many good things coming to you. You just don't even know it yet." And then she turns me around, and then Matt is on one knee. Yeah. Yeah. But like she had been wearing my ring, I think, the whole day. So like when she was hugging me, she had like, I guess, given the ring back to Matt. I don't know. I was just like, what is this for real? Like, this is for real right now. And Matt, he was just like, yep, it's for real. It was just a matter of time. Like, I knew it on our first date. And I was like, and I'm like ugly crying in the majority of the photos that are being taken. Uh, but yeah, and like Sherilynn, she was just so nice. And like, even her expressions in the pictures, they're just so genuine. And she can like, you can tell that she's just so like, she's just an angel. She's a sweetheart, and she cares about her fans. She's very involved with them, spends time talking and listening with them. And just for her to be able to be a part of that life event for me it was just amazing. Like, I have no words. I can't think of enough adjectives to describe it.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. And the pictures are so beautiful. And I can see in the pictures what you're describing, both like, how overcome with emotion, of course, you are, but also how tender she is
Yeah.
like, you can feel her energy next to the two of you too. It must have just been like, you can't even describe in words to have her there to be a part of that moment for you.
Yeah. And, to quote Audrey Horne, isn't it too dreamy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was an absolute dream. So,
wow, Matt.
yeah.
Just killing it, Matt, and the two Matts, the meeting of the Matts,
I know.
really just like orchestrating this whole thing.
Yeah, like Matt, the handler, he's super awesome for helping my Matt kind of coordinate everything, and just huge shout out to him, and Sherilynn for being a part of such an important event in my life and Matt's life as well.
So. I mean, you'll never forget it, and you can't top that, right?
No.
Just imagining like the vulnerable, like the emotions that you're already coming in with from the panel, and then having that continue, like just how open you must have been, just how raw, but in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
The surrealness of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was, I'm surrounded by people I don't know. They're strangers, and I'm being proposed to, but at the same time, it felt like I knew these people, I guess, because we have that common bond and love for Twin Peaks. And, with the Twin Peaks family, like it's just different. That's all I can say. And it's just like, you don't meet a stranger kind of thing. So like being proposed to and having that very vulnerable emotional moment in front of people I don't necessarily know, like it was okay. Like it felt fine. It felt like I was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah, family, right? Even family you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Are there, just curious if there's any other, nothing can top that, but any other highlights or moments that you're taking with you from the weekend?
One other thing that's just like really stuck out to me, the fact that I got to meet Sheryl Lee for the first time. We went to Lexington Comic-Con back in March this year, and she and Sherilynn both were supposed to be there, but they canceled. And so, that was kind of a bummer, but finally getting to meet Sheryl Lee this weekend, I got to talk to her about my experience with breast cancer. And she has worked with breast cancer research and done things for that. So I just thanked her, for all of her involvement and work. And I, told her that I'm a survivor. I'm in remission right now. And like, whenever she heard that, like her whole like body language changed. And like, I feel like she and I just like connected like on a completely different level. And we had some really good conversations throughout the weekend about that. And she was very encouraging and gave me some really good words of wisdom. And it again, it was like a healing experience for me. And to have Cheryl Lee, like, tell me all these wonderful things. I don't know. It just, like I said, it was healing. I feel like a completely different person after this past weekend.
Healing, transformational, spiritual, almost like really all of those things.
Yeah.
We didn't even know. We couldn't have even imagined that that would be the thing. And then there it was.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wow. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. It's
Thank
all
you.
of it. It's great.
Thank you.
Um, and I mean, I guess I'm, just kind of rewinding a little bit, curious about how you found Twin Peaks in your life and also what it means for you now.
Gotcha. So about, I guess, 11 years is whenever I first started watching Twin Peaks. It was mentioned by someone whenever I was in college, and I was like, you know what, I'll check that out. And so I remember over a winter break one year, I just decided to binge it. And like after the first couple of episodes, I just felt different. I was like, okay, like this is something that's gonna change me in some way. I don't know how, but and it's just very dreamy and surreal, and like I felt like I was living in a different world kind of thing. I don't know. It's just hard to describe. Like after you watch it that first time, you're just like, man, what is happening right now? Um, and I watched the first 2 seasons of it and I was an instant fan. And I try to get other people to watch it, but not everyone's about it.
Hit or miss. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But I stuck with it. I was a fan for years and years and years. And then I saw that they were bringing it back for the return. And that, the return, that was just like another level. And so after watching and rewatching Twin Peaks and The Return and Fire Walk with Me multiple times throughout the last decade, I would say that my, I guess, love for it has evolved. It's deepened. And I just respect and appreciate it so much more now, because then when I was first introduced to it, I was, I guess, like 20 years old. I didn't have enough life experience or knowledge to really understand and appreciate all of the symbolism and myth and motifs and everything that's in the canon.
Yeah.
So like now I still don't understand Twin Peaks. Like, I don't think I'll ever understand it, but I respect it and appreciate it and understand it more so than I did, 10 plus years ago.
I think that's what's so brilliant about it is that, when people are like, what is Twin Peaks about? I'm just like, I have no idea. It's art and I can't explain it. And I love to try. And I also should never try. And that's what makes it so magical for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like whenever I introduced Matt to it, he would have questions. He picked up on things a lot quicker than I did when I watched it the first time. But the questions that he did have for me, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's your interpretation.
Yes.
Like, so I don't know. But yeah, it's great. It's great.
Is Audrey a special character for you?
Yeah, I don't know exactly why. She just sticks out to me. And I guess I feel like I kind of relate to her in some ways. A lot of people say that she and I look alike, especially now since I have short curly hair.
What do you think about that? Do you think that you have a resemblance?
I can see it, but I mean, Sherilynn Fenn is so beautiful. Like, I can't even like put myself in that same category as her. But I can see it. We have the dark hair and the blue eyes and the light complexion. So I definitely see it. But I always take it as a compliment. And it's funny because like I have Audrey on my sleeve, on my tattoo, and people always ask me, they're like, is that you?
They
Like,
do? What?
yeah,
Okay, the most ultimate compliment I've ever heard about a tattoo.
I
Wow.
know. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank you. But no, like, first of all, why would I get a tattoo of a picture of myself? But yeah, thanks.
So the resemblance for sure. And then, yeah, any other ways in which you feel connection with her and just thinking about, yeah, this special moment over the weekend with Sherilyn Fenn.
Um, I think one of the ways that I connect to Audrey the most is her relationship or sometimes lack thereof with her dad.
Mm,
You know, in the first two seasons, Audrey is there are times when she is trying to make her dad proud. She wants to do right by her dad, even though she knows the truth about her dad.
that's right.
Um, and I relate to that, I guess, in the fact that my dad and we don't have a very close relationship.
Hmm.
And growing up, I was always trying to make him proud
Hmm.
with the things that I've accomplished in my life, but just never really having that same recognition.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's probably like one of the deepest ways that I connect to Audrey's character.
Hmm.
So.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Um, you mentioned that you have her on your arm, which is fabulous. Tell us about your Twin Peaks tattoos, what they look like, where you got them, what the process was. Give us the landscape.
All right. So my very first tattoo that I ever got was this half sleeve on my arm.
Girl, you just started off right away. You were like, bam.
Yeah, go big or go home. I had been wanting a tattoo that was Twin Peaks or David Lynch related for quite some time, years. I just never bit the bullet and did it, and I just didn't even know like really where to start with the whole tattooing process. Like, how do you find an artist? How do you tell them your ideas? Like, I didn't know, you know. Um, so I spent some time researching artists in the Houston area because that's where I was living at the time. And I found an artist. His name is Will Graves, and he's at a different studio now, but he was working at a studio and then he kind of went and did his own thing. But I connected with him and I gave him my ideas. I was like, hey, I want all this stuff. And I was just like, gave him an outpouring of David Lynch things. So it wasn't just Twin Peaks at the time,
Mhm.
it was also Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. I love
Nice.
Lost Highway.
Me
That's
too.
my favorite Lynch movie. Blue Velvet, you know, just all these different things that were just Lynch. Um, but then I was like, no, I should probably just like focus on one thing. And if I want to add more Lynch stuff later, I can. So then I just started to focus on Twin Peaks. So then I basically just gave him ideas and symbols from the show that stick out to me, that are important to me. And yeah, I was like, you have full reign, like go with it, like just do whatever, show me what you got, and we'll go from there. So I just gave him free creative freedom.
Mm.
Um, and he came up with a design that includes a portrait of Cooper and Laura Palmer, Audrey,
Mm.
and Lynch himself.
Oh, I haven't seen that part because it's sort of underneath your arm.
Right,
So
right,
for people, obviously we can't see, you're not seeing
right,
this, but it's wrapped all the way around her upper arm, and it's gorgeous. So Laura's on top, and then Audrey and Cooper are sort of underneath, and then underneath your arm is Lynch.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is that it's all connected in some way. So, like Cooper, he has a double R mug,
Hmm.
and the steam from the coffee, it leads all around the tattoo to where it's like, you have the Laura Palmer at the top, and it has like the mountains and the trees, so it kind of looks like mist in a way.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
Theme turns
Mhm.
into mist, and then it connects to Lynch over here on my underarm, and he's of course, smoking a cigarette. So that's like it's all connected. So like the smoke from the cigarettes, the mist of the mountains, and then like the steam from the coffee. So it just all works together.
It's a really gorgeous way to kind of unite all of the different elements.
Yeah.
And I really like the art. It's beautiful. And I really like the artist's take on their images, on their faces, on their likeness, because it's not so exact. Like it's not such an exact portrait. It's
Mhm.
like I feel like it's the artist's rendition or style of the characters, which makes it even cooler in my mind because it's just like his take.
Right. Yeah. From what I understand, it's like a neo-traditional
Nice.
style,
Nice.
but I also know that my artist, he was influenced by anime. So you kind of see like
Oh,
anime
cool.
elements
Yeah.
in the portraits as well. But yeah, he was very, very meticulous as he was tattooing me because he was like wanting to get it, just right. Like he didn't want it to look I mean, like, look at this Laura Palmer. Like it looks just like whenever you see her first appear on screen.
Wrapped in plastic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can see another way that everything is connected. Her hair, it turns into the mountains, and you have the trees in front. So I don't know. It's just really cool how he just had them all connected together. But yeah, super meticulous about everything. And um, I think it also helped that he was a film student.
Oh,
So
nice.
he had been exposed to a lot of Lynch. So I was like, this is perfect,
It's so great. There's like a level of not having to explain
Yeah,
that's there when you have that. Mhm.
right. But I think like the coolest thing and the most coincidental thing that happened was whenever I met him to go over my ideas and everything, I had my consultation. Um, like he told me, he's like, I'm actually going to Seattle in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, wait, for real? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Twin Peaks. I'm like, no way.
Oh my
So yeah, like he had already planned this like before he and I had ever met. But yeah, he went to Seattle and then he went to Twin Peaks and he got like some more ideas and inspiration during his visit there to bring back for my piece.
Oh my
So
gosh, the synchronicity. It's like meant to be. You can't
yeah,
make this stuff up. It's so good. Um,
yeah.
how was it to go from no tattoos to a half sleeve?
It took a long time. It was definitely hours of, just sitting there and having needle poke you on and on and on. But to go from just a blank canvas to having this whole thing, um, I mean, I didn't really feel like different as a person, I guess. It was just me. I just felt like more of me, if that makes sense. Like I
Mm,
felt like more of myself. Like I'm able to
mm,
show my creativity and my interest in the things that make me who I am.
mm.
And, you growing up in a very small conservative Texas town, uh, seeing people with half sleeves is not common.
Mm.
Um, so anytime I would come back to visit my hometown, I always kind of felt a little weird, I guess, just because no one else I knew had tattoos like this. And being a teacher, that's also difficult because there are some school districts that don't let you have visible tattoos.
Right.
So, um, but if anything, like it helped me connect to students. They would kind of see like a little bit of my tattoo stick out
Mhm.
and they'd be like, oh, you have a tattoo? And I'm like, yeah, I do. and they're like, "Oh, let us see." And like they loved it because I don't know, I guess like me kind of being vulnerable with them, it shows, that they can be their own person too. And if that includes getting tattoos, then that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like as you said, part of like your your creativeness, your humanness, just part of you coming out, kind of shining through.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful half sleeve. I would wear the hell out of that. Like, I just really want to like give you like so much credit for in that collaborative process with your artist all the way through. Like, it's gorgeous and really badass that you went from nothing to that. Like, really badass.
Thank you.
Any other ways you want to talk about what it's like to wear it now, how it feels, how it connects you to the Lynch Frost world?
um, well, it's ultimately what connected me to my Twin Peaks family, if you
Mhm.
will.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, Matt and I went to Lexington Comic Con earlier this year, and I saw a lot of other people with Twin Peaks tattoos. Um, and so I wanted to show mine off, definitely. And I remember standing in line and like I was wearing a short sleeve, I think, and you can kind of see like a little bit of my tattoo, like half of it anyway. But you can see the chevron print, the
Yeah.
red room floor. Um, and that's just, iconic in itself for the show. And I remember Aaron Cohen, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, so you know him. So Aaron, I could hear him talking and he said, "Oh, she has a Twin Peaks tattoo. That's really cool." And then like I kind of turned around and then like we all just like started talking and that's how like I and Matt like we both became connected to the Twin Peaks family. Um so it's just through that interaction of Aaron noticing my tattoo and then us talking and then it goes.
Mm,
So,
that's
yeah.
so fabulous.
Yeah.
Has anyone asked you annoying questions about about your sleeve?
I mean, I think with any tattoo, people always ask, "Did it hurt?" You know? Um,
Yes.
and the and the answer is yes. It's just a different kind of hurt, a
Mm,
different kind of pain,
yeah.
but it's tolerable for me. I think like the underarm part was the worst of
That's the
it.
spiciest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I had to tough it out because that's where Lynch is at on my arm. So I had to like be super, super still and just like kind of go into meditation mode during some sessions. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people ask me if the Audrey portrait, if that's me. And I'm just like, no, like why would I get a tattoo of myself? Uh, but
It really makes
I
me
mean,
wonder if people
cool.
do that. Like, do people get tattoos of themselves? I'm sure they do, but I know it does seem kind of funny. I still think
Yeah,
it might be annoying, but it's like such a compliment at the same
yeah.
time. Like how, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I can't be mad about it. Um, but yeah, those are probably the top 2 questions I get about it.
Are there any questions that you would like to be asked about your sleeve?
I always like talking about Twin Peaks and what the show means to me and why I decided to get, these particular things and like the whole tattoo process itself. Because whenever I got this done, like I didn't know anything about how to get a tattoo or what to do, what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like just kind of giving that advice to someone else and helping them kind of figure out, what it is that they would want. I like doing that. So.
Mm. Um, you know, we didn't really go there before, but I am curious why, if you're open to sharing, why you chose those 4 particular people, characters, and Lynch, I guess. 3 characters and Lynch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lynch plays a character in Twin Peaks
It's
too.
true. Oh, you're right. It's true. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I chose Lynch because, he's like the center of it for me. And I wanted originally like a David Lynch like whole thing dedicated to him. But I just started with him, and then with Cooper and Laura, I mean, they're like the main two for me. Um, and with Audrey, I already kind of explained, my connection to her. And then I feel like also in the return that Audrey, even though she's not as present, I guess,
Yeah.
that her story and her role and everything that happens with her and Cooper, that's not shown on screen like that, like it's just very significant. Again, I don't understand Twin Peaks, I never will, but for me, like Audrey's character and her story in The Return, it's just a lot deeper, a lot more significant this time around. So seeing The Return and everything that unfolded, and then having like these three characters and David Lynch again, it all kind of worked out in a way. And I want to add more characters. I had an idea of adding like Black Lodge, Leland. Sorry, I'm blanking out. Black Lodge Leland, and having Bob on there, and like maybe having like some other like smaller portraits of some of the other characters. But I just have to like think of my ideas that I want. But these were just the main ones that I wanted, for personal reasons, but also because of their significance in the show.
Beautiful. Yeah. So you want to build, I was going to ask you about Twin Peaks tattoos in the future. It sounds like you want to build and maybe build some more characters. I don't know if I've ever met anybody with a Bob tattoo. That would be so dope to just have Frank Silva on you.
Yeah. I drew up a picture of Bob a long time ago when I was kind of sketching my ideas for my sleeve. And I sketched his facial expression where him and Cooper are in the Black Lodge. It's like him and evil Cooper.
Yes.
And they're just like laughing at each other maniacally.
Yes.
And I sketched that facial expression, and it's so terrifying, but it's so cool. So I would love to have that for sure. And just having, I don't know, I had an idea of getting this other arm half sleeve of like the bad in Twin Peaks and the evil in Twin Peaks, and then like having it balanced with, the good of Twin Peaks. But I don't think I can get tattoos on this arm anymore because of my surgeries and cancer and stuff like that. But, I still have half an arm on this side. So I also thought about getting the Venus de Milo statue, like right here on my forearm. And a blue rose somewhere, I think, like right here where Cooper is at, I think would fit really nicely. But I mean, there's a lot of logistics that go into like placement of tattoo as well. But anyways, I have a lot of ideas. Again, it's just a matter of time and money.
For sure. And money. Absolutely. And now, are you still interested in the Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, Lost Highway elements, or are you like, no, I'm going to focus on TP?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick to Twin Peaks.
Nice.
I did get a Twin Peaks tattoo at Spooky. Yeah, Matt and I did. We got
cute.
Yeah, we got the
owl cave symbol.
Yeah.
Aw, it's just like right on your wrist.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. Aw.
Yeah.
And did he get the same one?
Yes.
Same placement or somewhere different?
Yep, same everything.
Did you go to the same artist there or yeah?
Yeah. Her name is Mary, and she was from the studio Rogues Gallery, and they are in Merritt Island in Florida. So
That is so sweet. Oh, look at what you got engaged. You got matching TP tattoos. Like, how cute is this? It's too cute.
I know. And like, it's so crazy because like I introduced Twin Peaks to Matt, like whenever we started dating, and now he just like fully took it on, just as much as me. So it's really, really cool that we have this same love and like we understand each other's weirdness for it. You know what I mean? Like we even talked about, I think I mentioned the other night, I was like, we should have our honeymoon in Snoqualmie in Washington and go to Twin Peaks, like the for real Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So
Oh, have you not been?
I've been,
Okay.
I think 2 or 3 times, but he's
Okay.
never been to
He's
that
never.
area of
Oh,
Washington.
oh, that's
Yeah.
such a great idea. Maybe some like, yeah, Salish spa moments.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't
Yeah.
think of anything more magical than that. Oh my goodness. Aw. What character would you love to see have a tattoo in Twin Peaks? And maybe what tattoo would that be?
Um, I mean, I really can't picture any character having a tattoo, um, except for maybe like Mr. C, if he
Oh,
doesn't
Mr. C.
already.
Yeah, Mr. C definitely would have a tattoo.
Yeah. I don't know, like I'm just visualizing something like this, but like actually on his finger.
Yeah, the
So
owl cave symbol like on his hand, you're saying?
yeah, like
On
on
his
his
ring finger.
actual
Mm,
finger.
right. Owl cave symbol there. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
because then like once you have it tattooed, like you can't take it off. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to see. Um, but yeah, like he's the one that probably sticks out the most in my mind. But like also with the younger characters that they brought into the return,
Hmm.
um, I would like to see more tattoos on them. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of represent like the newer generations.
Yes.
Um, and I'm like thinking of all the quirky characters, and like I'm like, yeah, I could see them having a tattoo, like Nadine. I can see her with like some kind of cool tattoo, maybe like a golden shovel or
She would
something.
totally have a golden shovel. Absolutely. Just in a full tribute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Dr. Jacoby, I can definitely see him with some tattoos as well.
Yeah, maybe he could get the eye patch. And so they would have like this really
Yeah.
cute.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That would be so awesome.
I really love them and I really love their storyline and the return so much. I love Nadine. Give me Nadine any day. She's just such an incredible, like, strong force. And I have so much to say about her. But if there's a season 4 of Twin Peaks,
Mhm.
what character, either existing or new, would you like to play?
Well, I don't think I could do Audrey Horne justice, but I feel like I could be a relative of hers.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
yeah, say more.
um, I don't know. I don't think she could have another child. So I don't think I could play her daughter or anything, but maybe like a distant cousin or something. Kind of like Laura and Maddie. I don't know.
Yes, I like that. It's a little bit spooky, but also like really grounded. I like it. I can
Yeah.
see you playing that, playing
Yeah.
her cousin.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Very, very, very great. Um, well, Katie, this has just been a blast. I'm wondering, how can people find you? Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
Um, I definitely, again, just want to give a shout out to my artists that I've had. So Will Graves, he's in Houston at Red Dagger, and then Mary at Rogues Gallery in Merritt Island, Florida.
Nice.
Shout out to both of them just for their time and artistry and, listening to my love for Twin Peaks and making it happen in visual form. Um, and then another big shout out to Sherilynn Fenn and Matt Osborne for the whole involvement with the proposal. Um, and shout out to my fiance, Matt. just for, embracing Twin Peaks like me and being open to everything I've had to say about it. And just like, he didn't have any tattoos whenever he and I first started dating, and now he has just as many as me. And that was like the whole thing. Like, he saw my Twin Peaks sleeve and he was like, well, I need to know about this show if I'm going to date you. And now we're engaged, and it's all like Twin Peaks involved. So again, just really cool how things ended up and have happened. So shout out to Matt, the whole Twin Peaks cast, and of course the Twin Peaks family for making this happen and sharing our love for Twin Peaks as well.
Thank you so much, Katie. This is just so beautiful. Thanks for sharing your ink and your stories. And again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me today.
Thanks for listening to the Twin Peaks Tattoo Podcast. Each episode is produced by me, Emily Marinelli. Sound design and theme music by Dr. Animal Proof Rock. For more information on today's episode, go to my website, www.twinpeakstattoopodcast.com.